The first responders have been working tirelessly to try and help everyone to do the best that they can with the situation we are put in. The work for hours, they work for more hours than they should, and their lives are put at risk working with corona victims every single day. They only ask of us to stay inside and not hang with anyone besides family, but people choose to ignore that and be ignorant and also stupid. The crazy thing about this is that it's occurring all over the world, and that health professionals are even having to come to us and to tell us we need to stay home. From my side of the argument, I will be talking about the doctor's point of view in all this coronavirus, and I'd be using articles and quotes that are given to us by health professionals and doctors. I think the few main points that they're talking about is that saving home could save lives, and if you go out, it's going to cause a chain reaction that's going to mess up the whole healthcare in the world and in the U.S., and especially close to home too. With everything happening right now, health workers are only asking us to do one thing, and that is to stay inside. Yet people choose to do what they want and act like everything's normal. But in reality, if you act normal now, we won't get a sense of normal for a long time. And one of the articles I read was they quoted saying, increasingly states are moving toward implementing important measures to keep people at home and reduce the spread of COVID-19. There is growth need for everyone to understand the importance of staying home, which has been seen through pleas and physicians and nurses and other health professionals across the country. So what they're really trying to say is that health professionals are even having to tell people to stay inside because that they know how important it is to stay home, and that if you stay home, this could all be sooner. And even then, people choose to ignore it still. In that same article written by www.ama-assn.org called Unprecedented Call to Americans Stay Home to Slow COVID-19 Spread. They would continue to say that stay home. If you are able to stay at home and away from people, if you won't do it for yourself, for the elderly and the immune compromised, which means basically that people who have not been compromised by the disease. Do it for the doctors and nurses who are literally putting their lives down to make care for those who are ill. Right now, every hospital in the nation is preparing for a wave of COVID-19 patients, and medical experts are hoping Americans do what needs to be done that wave from becoming a tsunami. What that is really trying to say is just that if we stay home, this will all be over soon, in a sense. And if you're not going to do it for yourself or the elderly people or your friends, do it for those who are actually putting down their life to make sure that we actually have a future in America, to make sure that we are going to be able to go outside, make sure that we are going to be able to do what we want to do in the future. I know it's going to stink for right now, but they're literally giving us the answer of how to solve this from our end. Their end is just to make sure they're going to make sure everybody's okay. Our end is to just stay home. They ask one thing, just stay home. I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to suck, but they know that it's just going to be a lot better. In an article written by mymodernmet.com, and the article is written that color sheets, doctors around the world being public at home to stay home during corona. The article would go on to say and talk about doctors and nurses have been taken to social media to encourage people to abide by the recommendation to stay home as much as possible. A physician named Dr. Ahmed Rahiba shared a selfie with a sign that reads, "I stayed at work for you. You stay at home for me. You stay at home for us." It's a plea to all Americans to take action to slow the spread of the virus, which I 100% agree with. That they even have to go to social media. They have to go to a platform where all teenagers and all young people are at, because they know that they're usually the ones that are going to be out. They're going to be the ones that are doing stuff. So by them taking that approach, it's kind of putting us more into like a responsibility, because as we all know, kids who are on social media and like see adults on social media, they know that it's not a good thing, or like I wouldn't say it's not a good thing. I would just more say like people don't really view it as like, oh, we should care about this. But like when you reach out to the young people, when you are telling them, like when you are like trying to look at them directly in the face and tell them like to stay home for you, for they're doing their job to make sure that you can have a future type of thing. And some of them, they're risking their lives every day for this. So yeah. The second point would be that they're telling us to stay home because they know that if we don't stay home, our health care is going to go up and it's going to start crumbling down as we see it. In an article written by NebraskaMedicine.com, the writer would say that we are currently facing the biggest public health crisis of our lifetimes, shared Dr. Leanna Wen, who is a part of the Stay at Home Save Lives movement. But we are not powerless against the virus. There are things we can do. If we don't change our behavior now, disease will spread faster and our healthcare system will be overwhelmed. That could cause a lot more harm and a lot more deaths. So what she is really saying is that by you not staying home, the healthcare system is going to rapidly be overwhelmed. It's going to be to a point where they cannot accommodate everybody, and they're just going to have to push people away, which is going to be a terrible thing, which I hope it never gets to. But she is even saying that like it could happen. And another article written by the Washington Post, I'm an ER doctor, the coronavirus is already overwhelming us. He would write that I have been in a communication with a friend who is a critical care physician from the Lombardy region of Italy. The healthcare workers there are living a nightmare, having to decide who lives and who dies from a lack of oxygen because their healthcare system is so overrun. That is even saying that a country like Italy is so overrun that they are having to make the tough choice of saying, is this person's life more valuable than this person's life, or is she more valuable than him? And that's honestly what's going to be scary the most with us Americans, is that if we don't stop, we're going to have to be faced with the choice of who lives and who dies, which we hope never comes to, but in the sense that there could be a chance that it could come to that. So I'm sure at this point you are tired of hearing about one side of the argument. You would like to hear about the other side of the argument, why would it be fine for one to leave their house. So even though that there could be tests that are going out into the communities and that those tests could be coming up negative for COVID-19, and that people are going to be arguing that like we should be going out there, or we could even be talking about the fact that people are saying that the economy is going to crumble, so if we don't open up businesses, then if we don't open up businesses, then the economy is just going to crumble right beneath us. Is that we're going to experience another Great Depression, which if we all read in the history books, that wasn't the best thing in the world. But even though that were to happen, you still got to think about this. You can get money at any time in the world. You can't take back a human life. We can bring back money all we want, but we can't bring back a human life. So in review, with doctors and nurses doing everything they can to keep us all alive, and for those who are sick and trying to make them well again, it is quite a slap in the face to them for us to be out ignoring what they're doing and trying to go out and do whatever we want to do. So I'm asking you to stay home. I'm a student. I'm a young person. I'm 19 years old. I have no one that I know of has COVID-19. So you would probably think that why should I listen to you? But I'm just saying this. I am looking out for everybody. I am doing my small part to make sure that we all stay at home. It's like at this point it's like a chain. At this point, all the young people wear a chain. If we have a weak link that wants to go out and do their own thing, we're all going to crumble, and it's not going to be an effective link. So I'm asking you to just stay home, please. To not even think of me. Think of everybody else. If that's the one thing that you're going to walk out with today, is that don't think of yourself for once. Don't be selfish. Think about others. Think about people that are trying to help you, people that are going to be there to help you when you're down. Don't think about your friends, because sometimes friends come and go. But if you have a health worker, their job is to make sure that whoever is in front of them lives. Thank you.